they speak a different language. They say that they're very upfront and honest, but a lot of the time Sagittarius are not. They can be, in fact, I think that close to Pisces are the most passive aggressive sign of the zodiac, but they just hide it behind, oh yeah, I'm upfront, and then Hi everyone, welcome back to No Light Tarot. So I decided to do the video again because the last video I did, honestly, I wasn't feeling that well. And I realized I didn't edit it properly, so I was like, you know what, let me just do this video all over again. So this is how I feel about Sagittarius. So Sagittarius falls second last zodiac of the year. In zodiac order, I believe they're the fourth last. Yeah, they're the fourth last. Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn. Yeah, fourth last of the zodiacs. So I only say that to say that I feel like there's like a certain sense of nobility that comes with Sagittarius. I have a lot of stories to tell you about Sagittarius. Because, you know, I have a love-hate relationship with Sagittarius. I'm just gonna be honest with you. But there's a sense of like nobility. Sometimes it comes across as being condescending. I feel like sometimes some Sagittarius that I know can be very like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, and it's kind of like a fake pushed energy. And once they're able to master that, it comes across very genuine. Like I always say this, that as Sagittarius get older, they start to take accountability, which is the shadow side, is that they kind of lack accountability, and they start to humble themselves. Like life humbles them to look at themselves. I suppose everybody, but mostly Sagittarius, because they have a lot of fire and mutable fire, so it can transform. You know, it's not like stuck like Leos. I love Leos, I get along usually very well with Leos, but it's not like Leos that is stuck fire energy, so it can be like honed in and focused on. With the mutable energy, the tricky thing about it is that if you, for example, no, I'm not going to use that analogy, but if they learn how to focus and harness their energy, because I feel like sometimes the fire energy comes out of nowhere and it can come across as bitchy or unnecessary, then they can really do some really good things. In fact, my ex was Sagittarius, great guy. He was older, and we broke up for different reasons other than what I'm talking about here. So there are, of course, there's always exceptions to the rules, but he is definitely an example of when Sagittarius get older, I think their lives get so messed up. A lot of them that they have to be like, okay, what can I do to fix this? You know, 40, 50 years down the line. Most Sagittarius men are so attractive. Oh my gosh, you think about Trey Songz, Jamie Foxx, who are the other Sagittarius men that I want to mention in this video? But they're very attractive. The men are very, very attractive, you know, and that can cause them into what I'm talking about, this energy of, you know, flirting, being a playboy, only when they're older. Jamie Foxx is such an example of this. You would never think that he's over 50, you know, but he has such a youthful energy about him, but that youthful energy needs to be humbled, if that makes any sense, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying in him, but particularly him, but there's a sense in Sagittarius energy of, I know everything, you know, and people say that about Aquarius, which can be true about us. In fact, there's a lot of similarities between Aquarius, Sun and Aquarius, and Sagittarius, but something, and maybe it's just a personal thing because I have a lot of Capricorn on my chart, but when somebody comes to me and says that I made them feel a certain way, I will try to see their side. But I feel like with Sagittarius, if I do that with them, they'll project it back onto you. But that's just been my personal experience. So, from personal experiences, I have a few stories, and I always tell the story about this best friend I had growing up who betrayed me in the worst kind of way. Libras and Sagittarius have just betrayed me a lot in my life, by being the person that everybody wants to like, and that's my pet peeve. As an Aquarius, I believe in staying true to yourself. Even if people don't like you, at least you're being true. And it's not to say you go around messing with people, being nasty to people, but being a faker just to get along with people, I cannot stand. It's one of my pet peeves. So anyways, I had this friend in high school, and I did something I shouldn't have done, and she, instead of telling me to my face, she went behind my back and told the people that I had done it to. And I really didn't like that, because she could have just told me, you know, you're in the wrong and I'm not happy with this. But in my face, she was like, oh, you know, completely talking me up, acting like. And in fact, after I did, because I mentioned this in the video that I went to private that I did last week, after I did the video, I remembered instances, because this happened a long time ago, of when she would come to me and say, hey, this person said this about you, you know, but, and she was one of the reasons why I always remember the saying of, be careful of the person that comes to you saying that this person said this about you, or this person said that about you, because usually they were involved in the conversation. I mean, they were involved in the conversation, and how are they able to get so much information, you know? So, yeah. So, another personal experience I had, I always say this too, is that I feel like feminine energy, when it manifests in Sagittarius, is very different when it manifests in masculine energy, because I can get along very well with masculine Sagittarius, well, Sagittarius and then masculinity. And my favorite cousin is Sagittarius. Yeah, my favorite cousin is Sagittarius. Who else? I have a lot of male Sagittarius around me, but with female Sagittarius, I feel like there's this like bitchy, mean girl spirit or energy amongst in a lot of them, and I see it. I'll get to my personal experience in a moment, but I see it in Nicki Minaj. I don't know her personally, but just something she's done, I just think is really awful. Chrissy Teigen, really awful. I talk about this in my Lauren London video. When I found out she was Sagittarius, I was like, of course she's Sagittarius, because when I met her, she was not very nice. She looked me up and down, looked at me like I was trash. There's just like this, like that kind of energy, you know, which is very, I just don't like it at all. So my experience with Sagittarius and the masculine energy was, I used to work at a yoga studio, and there were two Sagittarius that were working with each other. Now, Sagittarius can be very petty, very petty, and one of them was the yoga teacher, the other one was the director. Well, he was kind of like the campaign director slash, you know, he works for corporate. So one of the Sagittarius teachers, who I really liked, I'm very fond of him, he put up some pamphlets about a retreat he was doing, and every time the other Sagittarius would come, he would throw them away. And every time the Sagittarius teacher would come, he'd put them back and bring some more. Then the other one would throw them away. So they do stuff like that as a way of like control, you know, and I find it to be very passive aggressive when all they can go say to each other is, hey, stop throwing away my cards, or hey, stop putting those cards there. It went on for like 2 months. And we had to be like, because I used to work the front desk, and I was just watching this all happen. It was very entertaining, but it just showed me, and they didn't like each other at all, but it just showed me that like they speak a different language. They say that they're very upfront and honest, but a lot of the time Sagittarius are not. They can be, in fact, I think that close to Pisces are the most passive aggressive sign of the zodiac, but they just hide it behind, oh yeah, I'm upfront, and then like when it comes to being upfront, they're not really upfront. So yeah, that's been a lot of my personal experiences with Sagittarius, and I'm not writing Sagittarius off. I just think that behind like the fun, you know, the light side, which is fun, funny, easygoing, behind that there's a shadow side that needs to be addressed, which is, you know, somebody said that Sagittarius will ride the car until the train, like ride the train until the wheels fall off, and that's very true, you know. But it's all about being a balanced human being. So when somebody, if you are Sagittarius, somebody does come to you with a situation and say, hey, you are not being fair, or you are being fake, just to take it in, because they can be very defensive, very reactive, and that's the mutable fire energy that I see. So that's been my personal experiences. That's how I feel about Sagittarius. And like I said, I'm not writing Sagittarius off. In fact, I think dating wise, Sagittarius would be one of the best partners for me. Sagittarius, Gemini, and Virgo. But yeah, that's just how I feel. I think that they'd be, but as friends, very slim chance, especially the female Sagittarius, very slim chance that we can be friends. It's very superficial. I do have one friend though who's she doesn't have this quality, and she tells me that she sees it in other Sagittarius, but she's very grounded and just very different. Of course, surroundings have things to do, has a lot to do with your personality and who you are, but she's a very grounded person. She doesn't have this like it's everybody else's fault but me, you know, which I find a lot of Sagittarius have, and she's not good. It's not a good quality to have, but they do have a lot of good qualities. I'm not taking away from that, but I think a lot of Sagittarius need to learn to be humble and be mature. So I love you all. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'm not bashing Sagittarius, I'm just being honest. Wait till we get to Aquarius, because I have a lot to say about Aquarius. I'm Sun in Aquarius, okay? Every sign, this is just how I feel. It's not meant to be taken personally. I'd love to know how you feel about Sagittarius, what kind of personal experiences you've had, because that's what this channel's about. We share our experiences and we grow together. So I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.